Hi there guys, Darryl Griffiths here for Jumpcut Online. I hope you've all been very well. I am here at Edinburgh Film Festival. Not literally, of course, hence the hotel room. But I arrived today, of course, covering for the website, hence the little programme here that I've got on offer. Really good lineup, and my first time here, so I'm really relishing the prospect of covering various offerings over the next week. Some will be on video, as so, and some will be written reviews, of course, which of course you can check out on jumpcutonline.co.uk over the course of the week as I put them out. It was the first of a double bill tonight, and it was Jarmusch's new film, even The Dead Don't Die, stacked with an eclectic gathering of talents, if you will. Adam Driver, Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Chloe Sevigny, Danny Glover. He's assembled a hell of a cast here, and we've got Tom Waits as a hermit, just to, put the cherry on top there. And The Dead Don't Die is a rather deadpan zombie offering of sorts, and the zombie subgenre, if you like, because it's sort of been well worn in recent times with the likes of The Walking Dead and of course Shaun of the Dead, and it's probably hard to spin a new yarn with the zombie film. So what does Jim Jarmusch's entail? It has Adam Driver and Bill Murray as police officers called Ronald and Cliff. They are based in the rather sleepy town of Centerville in America. You can almost roll out the tumbleweed. Not a great deal happens, and its inhabitants are mostly quite peculiar, outlandish characters, rather befitting of the genre, of course. And the zombie element is brought in through, it's sort of implied with climate change and the daylight saving hours, or daylight saving time, is acting awfully strangely. Animals are acting out in unorthodox fashion and sort of throwing off their owners, and it all comes together and ultimately descends into a zombie apocalypse. Now, Jim Jarmusch's other films, he's dealt with vampires with Only Lovers Left Alive and Patterson, which of course Adam Driver was involved in and led the way with that one. Great film, by the way. Just feels like more people should have seen it. The Dead Don't Die, if I'm honest, underwhelmed me a little. It's not his finest hour, I have to say. I think the comedic elements, because it is so dry and deadpan, some of it may be lost on a broader or mainstream audiences, because he really toys with expectations here, and it's hard to say whether there's much holding it all together. I think, but with the comedy, it does make for not always entertaining. I think more sporadically, if I'm honest. A lot of it is channeled through Adam Driver, who I think is the show stealer here. I think his camaraderie with Bill Murray, because they're so chalk and cheese, and Adam Driver is he's very brutal in what he says. Normally with certain films like this, they'll sugarcoat and say everything will be fine in the end. Not him. He really is cutthroat. And Bill Murray's just looking as if to say, did you really say that? He was very bemused for half the screen time here. And he inevitably runs the show for the most part. When he's off screen, the energy flags, and it's a damn shame. Because when you've got so much talent at your disposal, I think the closest to Driver in terms of impressing in the film is Tilda Swinton, who rocks a Scottish accent and is very handy with a samurai sword, I must say. She plays a character called Zelda. And even in her figure movements, it's so precise, it's almost very robotic. And she just really hams it up, and it sort of complements a lot of what Driver feeds into the film as well, with a lot of his dialogue. But everybody else doesn't really get much chance to shine. I think a lot of the moments they do get is through visual gags. There is a particularly great one with a car as one of the initial attacks or zombie attacks occurs, and it's just gloriously executed, and a glorious pan shot from Jim Jarmusch that really, it's just genius. But I think there's a lot of repetition in a lot of the jokes as well, where it doesn't always hit the mark. And there's a lot of repetition with the theme song of the film as well, which sort of plays on, the whole the undeads and the zombie apocalypse that is occurring. And it really does great, to be quite honest. And the longer the film goes, as, it sort of escalates and sort of, doesn't exactly subvert expectations to a great deal. It really does fall into, your bog standard, hack and slash affair in terms of, let's just sever the head. And it runs out of steam. And then by the end, it tries to redeem itself with some fourth wall breaking, which I think will be divisive. There is the odd inspired moment within it, aesthetically, and again through the dialogue, but I just feel like it's a bit of a cop-out because there's not much narratively that hangs it all together. And peppered throughout the film, particularly in the first third, I'd say, Jim Jarmusch, I think there's a little bit of political allegory going on that is trying to feed into it. Like, we got Steve Buscemi in the film as well, sporting a red Make America Great Again hat. Of course, we won't mention the president because it's a touchy subject, of course. And I feel that while he sort of hints towards it, it's like a mishmash of ideas that never really comes to the fore. And in a way, I feel like Jarmusch is interpreting the zombies or the human characters here, or the living, as the ones who are actually the zombies and, walking around aimlessly whilst, pretty shitty things are going on. And is he implying that we actually deserve what we're getting because we're not really rising up, in a manner of speaking, to really get to grips with issues that are beneath the surface in the American landscape? But other than that, I was a little disappointed, and it pains me because I've really warmed to Jarmusch's offerings, and it's just his style and the way he brings characters to life. But The Dead Don't Die it just isn't that great, in all honesty. The odd inspired moment, a couple of great performances, but there's just not much that holds it all together. And by the end, it really runs, it's only like a 95-minute film, if I remember correctly. There's just not much that holds it together. And with this cast, this director, and the genre that you're delving into, although there is the occasional, lovely reference to the likes of George Romero and Nosferatu, iconic horror character from years ago, posters of The Thing and so forth, but it just feels a little flat beyond the comedy, and it just all feels underpowered, and it's a damn shame. So the first film at the festival didn't quite deliver, I'm afraid, but hopefully it will get better as the days go by. So that is my review of The Dead Don't Die. I hope I haven't rambled on too much, which is a tendency. I apologise. Coming up, I have a review of Balance Not Symmetry, which is the film that Biffy Clyro, on the Biff, have provided the soundtrack for. That will be the next review. I believe it'll be a written one, so be sure to look out for it. But for now, I've been Darryl Griffiths, and of course, Jumpcut Online. You know the drill by now. Facebook, like our page, Twitter @Jumpcut_online, and the website jumpcutonline.co.uk. I've been Darryl. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye for now.